Hey class, this is Teaching Train with Travis. We out here outside Chicago. We got this big old toolbox going to the Ford dealership. So we gotta get it down, man. This thing is heavy. Come with us. Got right with it. All right, so once you through, got it here to outside Chicago, Forest Park, North. Toolbox. For some reason, some of the guys just started coming out and conversating with us. The conversations got really, really interesting. I just started to record. Check this out.
You know, I just live life and try to do everything I can. Try to make it good.
What's your name again?
Lee.
Lee.
Just God changed my life and turned things around. He made all my bad, he actually turned to good. He made a new wine out of me. I wanted to get drunk, and I get drunk off the spirit. And all the stuff I used to reach, alcohol and things like that, God gave it to me even 10 times stronger. So I'm pleased, I'm happy now. What
made you turn to God? Did he come to you, or did you go to him? Did someone introduce you to him? How did that transpose?
I wanted to go ahead and get sober. And actually, I went to withdrawal, and in that time, the process where I went somewhere like a slight coma, I saw a vision, and I was laying in the desert, and I was bare naked, and it was like a desert, and I was laying there. I had no clothes, nothing, and I was cold, and I sat there for 3 days, and actually every minute, every hour was 3 days, and that's the 72 hours of sitting there in this vision, which felt like real life. My flesh was like melting and tearing off my body. About as big as that pole right there, an image of Jesus came to me, which was transparent and like a spirit. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, "Oh, thank God you're here." And as I stood there, I said, "I need your help." And then Jesus looked at me, and I looked at him, and he says, "Depart from me, for you never knew me." And I looked at him, I said, "Why?" He goes, "Depart from me, for I never knew you." And then he turns back and walked away. And that was the biggest disappointment that I ever gave someone in my life. And I hurt a lot of people in my life, but seeing that I hurt Jesus, that, yeah, I didn't want to do that again. So when I got up, I went to more withdrawal, and I got sober, and I said, I'm gonna make things right. And I tried to fix everything I could, and I realized that God accepted me for who I was. It wasn't about fixing it. He forgave me once I accepted him. And then I said, I'm gonna teach other people how to be better. So even the simple things of smile, hello, good morning, everything makes a big difference. So yeah, got me sober. I haven't touched anything since. And I'm talking about like hardcore party. I'm talking like you talk to some kid from the suburbs. Like real hardcore, you know, and then I just stopped. I had no more craving for it. So yeah.
God continue to be with you. God continue to bless you, Lee. Continue to inspire other people. I've definitely been inspired just by listening to your story. That's the reason why I turned on this camera. As Lee was talking, one of the other service guys just walked up and he started giving his testimony about some experience he was going through. I just let the camera roll. These guys were rolling.
When I get a chance to with people, I think of myself as I told Lee this as a miracle child, because just recently I survived 5 near-death experiences, and it's all because the Lord is helping me. Recently I pulled out, I got a bicycle, a road bike, and I pulled off it out in front of a car, and it hit me from front end and knocked me. I was laying on the pavement, and I kind of stunned. My bike's in the corner, all tore up, and I've just got scratches on my knees and elbows. I get up, the people get out of the car. Are you okay? Okay. And about 4 or 5 cars stopped. They all run over there and said, "Are you okay? We better call the ambulance." I said, No, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I got up and walked away and carried my bike back 2 miles, on my side. I'm a runner. I've run all the world marathons. where I couldn't run as fast, and they found I had this rare bacterial disease. And I found this doctor that the only one in the nation that treats this. It's called Propipii bacteria rare, and he had 5 other patients in the U.S. that had the same thing, but I was the only one that wasn't in a hospital bed with it. And he got me on the right medication, and I haven't had any problems since I got on this medication. The spots in my lungs, liver, and kidneys are all just not growing any bigger. They're not dissolved. They're still there, but they're not growing anymore. And so that's another thing. And then that led to the fact that I had hardening in my arteries, and when they did all the scans they did for that other disease, they found that my main 4 arteries were blocked 60 to 80%.
Wow.
And so the doctor performed open heart surgery, and I walked, even my old age, I walked further than anybody in the hospital's ever walked after that quadruple bypass. And then on top of that, I ran 3 marathons since I had that done. It's just amazing. And then I've had two near-death experiences where a tornado came across this property and knocked down 30 trees that I have, and twice a tree almost killed me. Well, the last time it fell and started rolling, it was a big tree about this big around the base, and if it had rolled one more time, it had my legs, I tripped over another tree that I fell, and I was laying there like that, and it rolled and rolled and pinned my legs there. If it rolled just one more quarter turn, it would have crushed my head. So I was all by myself, the Lord, and I was able to eventually free my legs out of there, and the chainsaw was laying there still running, and I thought, oh Lord, thank you for saving me, because that's just all those things happen just like that. And so there's no way I can't claim that I'm a Christian.
Hold your time, but what would you say to someone who having trouble believing that God is real and he exists? Out of all of your experiences of life, how would you recommend that person, or what would be your advice to that person?
Well, my advice would be to start reading the Bible, because we were just talking about that. Every time I look at some kind of verse, it's like it's right pointed to me. It's like, how does this happen that every time I'm in the Bible or I go to church, it's like I feel like it's pointed directly to me as compared to anybody else. But you know, I just think, you know, if you look at the sky and the moon and you see how the earth is compared to all the other planets, there's nothing else like it in this whole universe that we know of. It is like this, and everything works in a purpose and perfectly right. Everything happens. The sun rises, the sun sets, the wind keeps everything going all the time, and every part of life is amazing. You know, how we breathe and get the right oxygen out of the air, and how we drink water and provide everything, and the food we eat, how that all gets metabolism through our system. How does that just all happen by accident? It just cannot.
I told him that the Bible is the one book that the more you read, the more it reads you. That's why everything applies towards you, and you feel like it's talking to you. It's a living word, you know. God spoke it.
Right.
So, you know, and he says that, you know, Jesus is a flesh that dwelt among us. It's a beautiful thing, you know. People have to understand that. You know,
Right.
you accept it, and you see what he did on the cross, and actually, like, feel it. So if you go through a little bit of suffering, a little bit of pain, that's not compared to what he did for you. So you thank him every single day. When you have pain, that's when you get closer to God.
Right.
You know, calmness brings you closer to God. So you get upset and angry. That's one of the reasons why I'm so calm nowadays. I'm gonna try to get upset because I'm like, you know what? It's bigger than this. Instead of, you know, God's not God of confusion. He's with clarity. So that makes it a big thing. You know, instead of trying to get upset, get angry, get clawed. You get angry, like you get frustrated, you can't think. I try to keep clear all the time.
That's when the blood rushes to your head.
Yeah.
Force. It take more muscles. My partner told me it take more muscles, more tissues in your face to form a frown than to do the smile.
Yeah.
You know, it's the greatest unmoved mover of all affairs. We can only take but so much, because that's the omnipresence.
Yeah.
That's the omnipotent, the omnipotence, the omnipresence. Through you we live, breathe, and have all being.
That's right. Great testimonies. You almost had me. I almost drew one. I almost drew one. Yeah, he's so in so many dimensions. He's so dimensional. You cannot even categorize him or contain him. And just being surrounded with his believers and the people he has touched is so remarkable. Please open up your ears and listen to the people who have experienced God, because they are not just coming from an empty place. They're coming from a place where God has touched them, and gave him some instructions. Please, please heed before it's too late.